It is almost midnight. The room is dark. Your thumb hovers over a streaming watch list 40 titles deep, and you scroll right past every single option to press play on the exact same episode you have already seen 14 times. The human mind evolved to aggressively seek out new information. We are biologically wired to crave novelty, to scan our environment for the unfamiliar, and to pay attention to whatever we have not seen before. Yet, with a digital library the size of a small country at your fingertips, your brain often chooses to turn it all down. You opt for a script where you can mouth the dialogue a half second before the characters say it. We often dismiss this habit as laziness or a lack of curiosity. In practice, this choice suggests your brain has temporarily bypassed its hunger for novelty to focus on a different, higher priority requirement. This is a targeted maneuver. You are executing a specific search for safety that takes precedence over a simple need for entertainment. A brand new show requires high cognitive load. You have to learn names, decode the relationships, map out the rules, and constantly run predictions. Clinicians call this the risk of emotional ambush. With unfamiliar shows, your brain runs constant threat prediction, scanning for a twist. But on the 14th rewatch, threat prediction drops to 0. You know the argument resolves and the characters are safe. After a hyper-vigilant day filled with unread messages and unpredictable conversations, a story with a known ending becomes a rare environment where an exhausted nervous system is explicitly granted permission to drop its guard. When your guard drops, a physical shift occurs. With the cognitive load of decoding a new plot removed, the brain enters a low-effort mode. You stop analyzing the screen and start floating through it. Back in 1968, psychologist Robert Zionk demonstrated the mere exposure effect. He found that we tend to like things more simply because we have encountered them before. Familiarity itself breeds fondness. This chart maps that relationship out, showing favorability trending straight up as exposure increases. The mechanism driving this is processing fluency. Things you have seen before are easier for your brain to process, and your nervous system mistakes that cognitive ease for pleasure. Researchers studying media reconsumption noticed something else. After people completed mentally draining tasks that burned through their self-control, those who returned to a familiar favorite story bounced back faster. Their supply of willpower recovered more efficiently. Because you spend 0 mental energy navigating a familiar world, you can recover energy by being there. The rewatch acts as a charging pad, restoring the self-control you need for the next day. Predictability explains why the screen feels safe, but it does not explain why the screen feels like actual company. Picture a young professional named Maya. She just moved to a new city, the apartment is quiet, and the group chat from home is 3 time zones away. Every night, to combat the hum of isolation, she puts on the exact same ensemble comedy she has watched since high school. Psychologists call this social surrogacy. Studies show that when people experience the ache of isolation, a favored television program can successfully stand in for real belonging. This works because of an evolutionary quirk. The social hardware of our tribal brains never learned to distinguish between physical humans and the warm, consistent faces that live inside a screen. These parasocial bonds offer the warmth of friendship with absolutely 0 social tax. You do not have to manage awkward silences, risk being misunderstood, or remember to check in. Maya's brain uses these characters as a temporary psychological patch. They hold the floor of her sense of belonging while she slowly builds real-world connections. The deepest layer of the rewatch moves past the plot and characters to focus on the specific era of your own life that the show represents. Comfort shows often act as time machines. We frequently return to the programs that were playing during a chapter of our lives that, in hindsight, felt simpler or more secure. Pressing play triggers an immediate wave of nostalgia. Research indicates that this state actively boosts well-being and strengthens the feeling that you belong somewhere. Rewatching a show from a specific era allows you to visit the version of yourself that watched it the first time. It is a way of re-establishing contact with your own past. This connection to your personal history provides a sense of continuity. By shaking hands with your past self, you find a point of reference that helps ground you in the present. If the comfort show is such a high-functioning psychological tool, we have to identify the point where it becomes a clinical danger. Therapists draw the boundary at a behavior called avoidance. This occurs when a legitimate coping mechanism transforms into a place to hide. A social surrogate is designed to be a bridge. It gets you across a lonely patch so you can return to real people. The danger arises when the surrogate becomes the permanent destination. There is a cost to complete emotional safety. The characters on screen will never disappoint you, but they also lack the ability to surprise you with how much they love you. They cannot grow with you. The only question that matters is what happens when the credits roll. Does the show help you exhale so you can re-enter your life, or are you using it so you never have to? The urge to return to this sanctuary demonstrates how resourcefully your nervous system identifies what it needs to regulate itself. The comfort show is a perfectly engineered rest stop for modern chaos. You have earned the rest. The only trick is making sure you eventually walk back out the door.